Welcome. Welcome to the Lamonts G Custom Live Show. I'm your host, Harvey Lamont Ritchie, the number 3 podcast. I don't have on my cap today because it's hot. Incredibly, woke up, it's 70 degrees. Drive about an hour, it's 75 degrees. And we're in the middle of February. Wow, incredible. Incredible. But I feel great. Got some good rest. Ate a good dinner. And I am ready to get this day started. I want to touch on a couple of things, mainly Iran. I heard a news story this morning and some experts talking on the Iran. And sorry about that. I apologize. I'm not really remembering where I left off at. But I think I already said this. I said again. It's hot outside. I had to turn the air conditioner on here. But I want to touch on a couple of things. The main topic will be Iran. Heard from some experts. I watched some news coverage on it this morning. And it's quite interesting. But first, let me say this. And I hate to keep deep diving into politics every time I do a podcast, but dude, I'm sorry. These Democrats, these leftists, these liberals, I just don't get it. We need to bring mental institutions back. So, some black Democrat, black woman, I want to say out of Illinois or something, ran an ad, and the ad had it had no surface, no meaning. Like I'm gonna bring down taxes. I'm gonna stop inflation. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. No, the ad, 99% of it was dumping on our president. Whether you like him or not, that's disrespectful. And at the end of the ad, she had 4 or 5 people, F Trump, F Trump, F Trump. If you go back about a year ago, when we were getting into President Trump's second term, you had Jasmine Crockett, you had AOC, you had pretty much all the top level Democrats just going off on these cussing tirades. And then you had your late night comedians doing it, you had your other pundits doing it. And I know they have a network, they have a pecking order. Somebody from the top send down, a list of things they need to do, and they all do it, and they all say it. But what is it about this cursing that for the last year it's incredible. Now listen, do I got a foul mouth? Yeah, and Lord knows I pray daily to eradicate that from my vocabulary. But I'm not in political office. I'm not a elected official. I'm not a congresswoman. I'm a congressman. These people are despicable. You gonna run an ad with 4 or 5 Americans at the end saying F Trump, F Trump, F Trump. Listen, as hard as we prayed to our Lord and Savior to put in the minds and the hearts of Americans to vote for President Trump to get our country and our psyche back on track, back headed in the right direction, we're going to have to pray for these soulless, evil people. And it's just not politicians. They're at the top. I mean, you have elites over them with all the money, but then you have the politicians. Then you got your low-level psychopaths. These people are not only crazy, they're dangerous. If one was to come up on me right now, will I fear him? No, I wouldn't fear that. But they don't They don't come to you face to face. They wait till your back is turned, and that's what makes them so dangerous. They will stab you in the back. These people are dangerous. And listen, to each his own. But if you consider yourself a liberal, Democrat, socialist, Marxist, communist, black or white, you need Jesus, and you need him like right now. I had to get that out, man. It's constantly daily. Now, a lot of the podcasts and a lot of the news that I consume on a daily basis, a lot of it shows these liberal wackos, man. It's this woman out of Australia. Don't know her name, but she has a news source, and she dedicates about 10-15 minutes of it called "Lefties Losing It." And she shows clips from all over the world because leftists are just not in the United States. They're all over the world. If you ever go to Europe, you will get a prime example of what a real leftist, what a psychopath leftist is. And not only are they dangerous, like I said earlier, they're evil, and for some reason they're degenerates. Did y'all see where Prince William, or the former Prince William, was arrested? All this involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. And listen, there's more. And they're all leftists. They're all Democrats. They're all socialists and Marxists. One of these days, I'm gonna. I told y'all about we were in a panel, and a couple of guys brought up these Marxist training schools, and there's one in Tennessee, one in Cuba, and other places. I'm going to do a deep dive off into that. Because listen, I never attended a class at University of Nebraska, even though I was, slated to play football there. But I did take classes at Livingston University, and there were several subjects that the theory of Marxism was prevalent. Now, they weren't preaching Marxism. We had to learn the different theories: capitalism, Marxism, socialism, etc. But I didn't pay attention to it. I still have those textbooks to this day, and I'm going to do a deep dive off into that. Because I honestly, like I said earlier, and I hate to keep repeating myself, these people are not only dangerous, they're evil, they're degenerates. And when you have so many leftists, elite leftists, and I mean, hell, we're talking about the Prince of Wales. When you have elite leftists, you presidents of the United States on Jeffrey Epstein's list or in his documents or whatever files, that's a major problem. A major problem. Anyway, that's something for a future ordeal. Currently, watching news this morning, and it was on Iran. So, according to the news source, and it was Fox News, America, or United States of America, has deployed the largest use of force of fighters, jets, ships, aircraft carriers, refuelers to the Gulf in the area of Iran since the Iraq War in 2004, somewhere around in that area, 2004. We talking about a lot of firepower. Now, the country of Iran has slaughtered thousands of their people in the last 2, 3 weeks that were protesting. They want the regime changed. They want to change this evil that's over there. And that's quite understandable. But listen, I don't speak on anything that I don't have facts on. So I'm going off this news report and then watched a little bit yesterday as well. So if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw where either China or Russia, I think it was Russia, that was helping Iran in air exercises. Now, let me say this. Russia's in a war with Ukraine and been in a war, what, 3, 4 years now. And I know they get a lot of their energy from Iran. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, a large portion of this earth, this world, get a lot of their energy from the Middle East. And Iran is rich in resources, very rich in resources. And they have threatened to shut down the, what is it, Vermouth? It's some port or alleyway that comes off the sea. I don't know if it's the Mediterranean Sea or not, but they're threatening to close it down because they say 65% of the world's oil passed through this port. So you got Russia or China or somebody helping them out with flying drills. This is the interesting part for me because Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, um, many of the Middle Eastern countries, they're very rich, especially the Saudis, the Egyptians. And they pretty much said, we're going to stay out of this. Even though we have a decent relationship with the Saudis, they said we're going to stay out of this. So, we, meaning the United States, will be, and I'm pretty sure all this is legal, all of it's technical, but we will be the force once again in that region to try to right all the wrongs. Now, I tried at one point, and I want to say it was well after the the first war in the early '90s when we were in that area, and I tried so hard to get into the people, the religions, and it was pretty hard. It's pretty difficult. One of my best friends in college, his father was the chancellor, president, or something. He had a real high-ranking status in the country of Palestine. I had never heard of. I've heard of Palestine, but not Palestine. And that got me interested. But we're in college. I didn't, you know, it didn't loom on my mind like it would now. So after the second Gulf War in early 2000s, I tried to deep dive into it because you had people looking for Osama bin Laden, the Pakistanis, the Iranians, the Iraqis. I'm like, are all these people the same? And they are so different. Afghanistan, Pakistan, Indians. These people. There's a reason they're on that side of the world. Because even though we have plenty of Indians and Pakistanis and all that living in this country now, we're not the same. They're not like us at all. Religiously, they're mostly Muslim, and an Indian buddy of mine, I think he's Hindu, and listen, it's just crazy. but the mindset is what I'm interested in, and pretty much your culture, your religion sets your mindset, and that's what I really want to get into. I will say this now: these people are dangerous. They will kill you. I don't think at this point in time in history they're more dangerous than the United States American liberal, but they will kill you. So as I'm listening to this newscast this morning, and go back 6 months, and I got a sidetrack earlier. So we're on this panel, and a guy said that at some point in history, I don't know what part of history, but I'm gonna say maybe a century or two ago, maybe not even that long, maybe 50, 60, 70 years ago, I don't know. That the head guy of the USSR, what we know as Russia, the Soviet Union, had dealings with Iran. Now, I think they were Persia or something similar to that at one point, and they changed to Iran. The Iran is whatever translation, Aryan, meaning white. Interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. So I said that to say this: these people, what are their mindset? Because as of right now, if the Shumad or whatever he is, Ayatollah, if he don't get his crap together, he's going to end up being dead, and the majority of the heads of state are going to be dead in Iran. And I want to say, listen, Iran is full of resources. A lot of people said the reason we went in there the first time when Saddam Hussein, um, they said he was slaughtering people in Iraq. Iraq, just like Iran, is full of resources. Was it for the oil? Don't know. Was it for the resources? Don't know. But I seriously doubt at this point it would be primarily for the resources. When we ourselves have more resources than any other country, and right down the Atlantic here in Venezuela has a big resource, or big reserve, oil reserve, and other resources. So, what are we doing in Iraq? President Trump promised the people of Iraq, if y'all have the right to protest. Now, I'm not real sure in Iraq or Iran or any of these Middle Eastern countries that they have the right to do anything. They don't have the freedoms that we have over here. But they were being slaughtered for protesting. And he said that he will avenge that. Is this the reason? I don't know. Is it the resources? I don't know. But I will tell you this: the biggest thing is they said their nuclear enrichment. It's got to the point where if they create this bomb, this nuclear weapon, that they could kill a lot of people in the Middle East and Israel, which is their main target, Israel. So, with that being said, it could be a number of things. But I think the number one thing is the nuclear weapon. Now, America, United States dropped these big bunker bombs on, well, they had their laboratories in some hole. Don't know how much damage that did, but if you put in a lot of American resources in this area, and you send it there, enrichment is still going and damn near complete. I want to know the intelligence on it. I want to know the intel. There's no way in the world I will find out, but the intelligence has got to be spot on for them to put the amount of resources they have put in this side of the world. It has to be. And but listen, Iran has gotten many sanctions on them. Many sanctions. They don't have any money. They have nothing. The people are starving. Well, from what I see, they running around kicking and screaming, waving flags. They ain't starving too bad, but the economy in Iran is tanked to the point of no return. but they're getting something, or somebody's getting something because they got a lot of resources, and they're pushing all back and forth like it's going out of business. So somebody's got something, and maybe it's the higher echelon people, the Ayatollah and all these people who got all the money, and the regular folks ain't got nothing. Like I said, I'm not there, but the intelligence has to say yes, this is happening for the United States and President Trump to do what they're doing. And listen, I'm backing 100%. Greatest president of my lifetime, and everybody. I told you Reagan was, up until President Trump got elected, was the greatest president of my lifetime. President Trump, bar none, greatest president of my lifetime. Top five probably of all time, and I support him 100%. So, yeah, just wanted to touch on that. Hopefully, by the time I get this edited and downloaded, tensions, because I think he gave him 15 days and said, after that, your fate's in your own hand. So hopefully, by the time I get this edited and downloaded, tensions will be done, soften a little bit. Iran will be done back down. But as of right now, as is taping of this podcast, tensions are very high. We have the world's largest aircraft carrier. We got some major firepower in that area that could take out uh, whole civilizations. So yeah, just pray, man. Just pray, and that because President Trump don't want to see war. He don't want to see death. That's why this has to be critical for him to do what he's doing. Well, with that said, let me get out of here. But don't forget, man. Pray for these liberals. I don't think they can get their sanity back, but pray that we can build a sane asylums to put these folks in, because they need to be there, from the bottom to the top, from your granny down the street, from your politician down the street, from your politician in Washington, from your elites in California. These people need to be institutionalized, period. But listen, I appreciate you. I love you more than you will ever know. God bless you. And as always, the number 3 podcast, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. You guys stay blessed, and I will see you next time.